Most middle-class Americans are following a retirement plan that quietly guarantees they'll run out of money. You work 40 years, save diligently, and sacrifice today for a tomorrow that might never arrive as promised. You follow the rules, yet you still end up stressed at 65. Today, I will show you the retirement trap and how to escape it before it is too late.
Meet John and Lisa. They are a typical couple earning an average middle-class income. For 30 years, they did everything right. They contributed to their 401k plans, they paid down their mortgage, and they relied on the promise of Social Security. They looked at their account balance and saw a big number, thinking they were millionaires in the making. But as they approached their mid-60s, the math started to change. They realized that their million-dollar nest egg, after taxes and inflation, wouldn't actually fund the lifestyle they had spent decades working for. Something didn't add up. They were facing the same invisible wall that millions of others are hitting right now. The retirement trap is essentially relying on traditional retirement assumptions that no longer work in the modern economy. For decades, the middle class has been sold a dream built on three flawed beliefs. First, the idea that if you just save a specific percentage of your income, you will be fine. Second, the myth that your expenses will significantly go down once you stop working. Third, the dangerous assumption that the system, including government programs and corporate pensions, will be enough to support your longevity. These beliefs are the foundation of a trap that catches you when you are at your most vulnerable. This trap exists because of a massive structural reality shift. The strategies that worked in 1980 simply do not work in 2025. In the past, companies offered guaranteed pensions. Today, the responsibility has shifted entirely to the individual. Inflation is silently eroding the purchasing power of every dollar you put into a savings account. Furthermore, we are living much longer than previous generations. A retirement plan that was designed to last 15 years now needs to last 30 or 40. The old world was about stability provided by others. The new world is about volatility managed by you. If you don't adjust your worldview, you are planning for a reality that no longer exists. The hidden consequences of this trap are devastating. We are seeing a generation of seniors who are running out of money in their late 70s, just when healthcare costs begin to peak. This leads to a forced lifestyle downgrade, moving from a comfortable home to a small apartment, or worse, returning to the workforce at 75 because the math failed. Ask yourself, what happens if you live 10 years longer than you planned? What happens if the stock market drops 30% the year you decide to quit? The uncertainty isn't just a risk. For most people, it's a mathematical certainty. Let's break down the components of this trap. Trap number one is an over-reliance on paper assets like 401ks and IRAs. While these are good tools, they are often subject to high fees and future tax rates that you cannot control. You are essentially partner with the government, and they get to decide how much of your money they keep later. Trap number two is ignoring cash flow. Most people focus on a lump sum number. They think they need $1 million, but you can't eat a lump sum. You need monthly income. The middle class retirement trap focuses on the size of the pile rather than the consistency of the stream. Trap number three is underestimating inflation and healthcare. A gallon of milk or a hospital stay will not cost the same in 20 years, yet most plans use today's prices to calculate tomorrow's needs. Finally, trap number four is a total lack of diversification beyond the stock market. If all your wealth is tied to the S&P 500, your entire future is at the mercy of market cycles you cannot influence. Here is where most people realize this too late. They reach the finish line only to find the goalposts have been moved. But the fix isn't just about saving more of your paycheck. In fact, that's often impossible for a middle-class family already squeezed by costs. The fix is thinking differently about what retirement actually means, and to escape the trap, you must follow a new set of rules. Step one is shifting your mindset from saving to income building. Instead of just watching a balance grow, ask yourself how much monthly cash your assets can generate. Step two is focusing on cash flowing assets. This could be dividend paying stocks, real estate, or small business interests. The goal is to create a situation where your bills are paid by your assets, not by selling off your principal. Step three is building multiple income streams. You wouldn't rely on a single chair leg to hold you up. Don't rely on a single source of retirement income. Step four is to plan for inflation explicitly by investing in assets that historically rise with prices. Step five is to stress test your plan. Run the numbers for a scenario where taxes are 10% higher and market returns are 2% lower. If you can survive that, you have a real plan. Building retirement income is about creating a fortress that is independent of a single job or a single government check. Let's look at a quick comparison. Person A follows the traditional plan. They save $2,000 a month into a standard mutual fund. At 65, they have $1 million. They start withdrawing 4% a year, but then a high inflation cycle hits and the market stays flat for 5 years. Suddenly, they are burning through their principal just to buy groceries. They are constantly stressed, checking the news every morning to see if they can still afford to live. Now, look at person B. They focus on income. They spend those same years acquiring assets that pay them. They buy a few rental properties and a portfolio of high-quality dividend stocks. By 65, they don't care what the market value of their houses or stocks is because the rent and the dividends keep hitting their bank account every single month. Person A has a pile of cash that is shrinking. Person B has a machine that produces wealth. One offers uncertainty, the other offers stability. In the process of moving forward, there are frequent errors that you need to avoid making. The most significant error is postponing the transition from growth to income for an excessively lengthy period of time. A lot of people wait until they are 60 years old to start thinking about cash flow, but by that time, the entry barrier is considerably more difficult to overcome. An additional error is placing unquestioning faith in the default plans that are offered by employers. The ordinary person is slipping into the trap that these schemes are meant for, and they are designed for the typical person. Last but not least, that many people fail to change their plan over time. When you are 45 years old, you should not have the same plan that you had when you were 25 years old. The world is constantly shifting, and your plan needs to be adaptable enough to keep up with the changes. Each and every aspect of our comprehension of this journey needs to be rethought. The number that appears on a screen is not retirement. This is not a location that you arrive at and then withdraw from. The time at which your passive income is greater than your active expenses is the point at which you are truly retired. What would happen if you suddenly stopped receiving income today? What is the maximum number of months that you could make it through before the trap closed? When you stop chasing a net worth and start chasing monthly cash flow, the entire game shifts in a different direction. Instead of being a victim of the economy, you begin to take control of your own independence and become the architect of your own freedom. It is because they are playing an old game with old rules that the middle class is unable to escape stuck. The possibility to participate in a different game is available to you. If this has altered the way you think about your future and you are interested in seeing more in-depth discussions about how to develop genuine wealth, then you should subscribe to this channel and make sure you hit the notification bell. In the following several videos, we are going to provide you with a comprehensive breakdown of various cash flow tactics in order to ensure that you remain ahead of the curve. Whatever choices you make today, your future self will be grateful to you for them. Avoid falling into the trap, make a plan for your income, and I'll see you in the next one.